Hello and welcome to another video about Lightroom CC. This video I would like to share with you some tips for saving time, as well as related to that then how to use presets and the limits of presets and the advantages of presets and what you can learn from presets. So let's dig in. So first of all, we're gonna look at a photo here in Lightroom. And you can pick any of your photos to get started with, but just find a photo that you've edited and you've made some changes to and you like the way it looks, okay? Here we go. So the first way we're gonna save time is we're gonna apply the edits from one photo. So the edits, so all these changes in the edit tab. All these light changes, tone curve, color, color mixer, color grading, effects, so on and so forth. All those edits we can take and apply them to another photo. Now, before you get all excited about this, I hope you're excited, something to be aware of. And this applies to presets as well. The edit on one photo works well, or the way you want it to, on only that photo. Only that photo worked exactly the way you want. You can apply the changes from one photo to another, and because the color is different, the subject's different, the tones are different, the brightnesses are different, everything's different in another photo, the changes you apply from one photo to another will not look the same. Okay, so here, let me show you how this works. So I'm gonna use this photo, which has tons and tons of edits to it. Here's where we started at this photo. So this is where it started. And I've applied a bunch of edits, and I want to apply those edits, let's say, to this photo, which is different, right? It's a different photo. It's a flower. It's also been edited quite a bit. So here's the edits. That's where this one started. So I want to apply the edits from this photo to this photo. Okay. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy the settings. It's really, really easy. There's a couple ways to do it. The three dots on the right-hand side of the Lightroom CC window, the three dots at the bottom, if you click on that, you can choose to do either copy edit settings or choose edit settings to copy. I recommend doing the choose. Let me show you why. I'm going to click on that right now. Click on it. And you get this window when you click on copy settings. And what you'll see here is I have the profile will get copied. It's kind of a complicated conversation. The tools. So each of these over here has a little triangle to the right of it. If you click the triangle, it'll show you the details of what's underneath the tools. So I could copy the crop, the heel, the brush, the linear, and the radial gradients, which have also already been covered in previous videos. The light, you can choose, maybe you don't want to copy the tone curve, for example, or some other setting. So you can choose what settings you want to copy and which ones you don't. Most of the time, I'll leave the tools turned off because they are very, very specific to an individual photo. But everything else I will copy. All right, so click on the copy button. Boom. Okay, nothing's changed yet because now they're in the memory of Lightroom. So now when I go to this photo, what I'm going to do is click on those three dots again over on the right-hand side. And now I'm going to paste those edit settings. Now watch what happens. So you can see my edits on the light, exposures at plus 0.3, a contrast at 22, and so on and so forth. When I do the paste, all those settings will change to the settings from the photo I copied from. Here we go. Ready, set, click. So it looks a lot different. It's a lot brighter. You know, it's a totally different edit to this photo. And it's the same exact edits as from this photo. This architectural photo edits now apply to this flower photo. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. If you don't like it, you can do a couple things. First, if you just totally hate it, I would undo that change. So you go under the edit menu and go to undo change selection. Oops, no, you got to go back one more than that. You got to do undo again. So undo, go to the edit menu, undo, change selection again. Now we're back on the photo, edit, undo, paste settings. You got to go backwards 3 times if you clicked on the photo again. Okay, so now this photo is back where it started. But let's say I did like that as a starting point. Okay, so I'm going to paste those settings. The keyboard shortcut is Command V on a Mac, Control V on a PC. So let's say I'm in the ballpark, but now it's a little too bright. Maybe that's the only other change I want to make. So what happened was I liked most of the things that the other settings did, but I don't want all of them. Maybe I just need to adjust it a little bit. So that's the thing to be aware of with when you paste settings is it saves you time because if, well, let me show you how it saves time. Let me just go. All right, so here's how this really saves you time. It's when you have a photo you have done no edits to, but you want to get a good starting point maybe. And if you're not sure what the starting point is, sometimes the photo that's right in front of it might be a good starting point. So I'm going to paste these edits again, Command V, and it's moved all the sliders. It's moved all the sliders. So now I just saved a whole bunch of time. Now all I have to do is just do maybe some fine tuning for this photo. Maybe I don't want it quite as blue, and I changed the exposure. I brought the exposure down a little bit. Okay, so copy edit settings is a really quick way to apply the edits from one photo to another. But what you always need to remember is the edits on one photo likely won't work exactly at that setting value on another photo. Okay, so that is one way to save time. All right, so next we're going to talk about presets in Lightroom. So let's say I like these settings so much that I want to save them for the future. Because when I quit Lightroom, the paste edit settings will go away. So I need these settings for tomorrow or for next year. So what we're going to do is create a package of these settings, all these changes in the edit tab, and they're called a preset. So here's how you get started with that. So in the bottom of the edit panel on the left-hand side, there's a button that says presets. Just click on that and you'll get a look at the presets that are inside of Lightroom already. And I'll talk more about those, but what I want to do right now is save these settings to be used later on. Here's how you do that. At the top of the preset panel on the right-hand side, there's 3 dots. Click those 3 dots, and the option you want when you're saving a preset is to click on Create Preset. So I'm going to click on that right now. And just like when we copied these settings, now we have what settings do you want to save in this preset. Just like when we copied a preset, we can choose which of the settings to include and which ones not to include. I'm going to just copy all of them for now. Suggestion for you as you're creating presets, give it a good name that makes some sense. It can be descriptive, it can be hopefully something in the name is helpful in knowing what it looks like. And maybe it's the subject or whatever. I usually throw my initials into it so I know it's my preset. And then I'm going to say bright and blue because it's kind of got a blue tint to it and it brightens everything up. All right, so I'm going to click Save on that. And now in your presets panel in Lightroom at the bottom, you'll see that there's a user presets section. So you click on the little triangle to point that down, and now you will see it says MWS bright and blue. So let's say I wanted to apply that to a different photo. Let's say I wanted to apply it to this one. I can do a couple things with presets here while we're here. I don't have to apply the preset to see what it's going to look like. By just putting my mouse over the preset, and the neat thing in Lightroom CC is it shows you how the settings move. So look at the settings in the edit panel to the right. They're moving to reflect this change. Now I haven't clicked yet, So this setting is not applied yet. If I click on it, now it's applied and it's bright blue, so you know that that's the preset that's applied. Let's undo that real quick. Let's say I want to apply it to this photo, same thing. So I can just click on that and now it's applied. Again, come to this photo, click, totally changes the photo. And that's the power of presets, of saving these edits, is with one click, you can transform a photo to something totally different than where it starts. Now, whether it's exactly what you want or not, that's up to you to determine. But my advice I always give with presets as well as with pasting settings is it's not one click and done. After you click, review the photo, review the settings, see if what needs to change to match that new specific photo. All right, let's talk a little bit more about presets. So let's install a bunch of presets. We're going to add presets. There's a bunch of presets out there in the world. Just Google Lightroom CC presets or Lightroom presets. I have a batch that I provide to my students that I've just found on a website called Free Lightroom Presets something something. Anyway, so those are the ones we're going to install. Here's how you install downloaded presets. Are you ready? Here we go. It's easy, super easy. So again, at the top of the presets panel, start up there at the three dots, click those three dots, and this time we're going to go to the option called Import Presets. So click on Import Presets, and then you're going to navigate. It brings you to your computer window, so you're going to navigate to where you're saved your presets. Mine are on my desktop. They're called Free Lightroom Presets something something. And then what I need to do is highlight all of these. So I'm going to do Command A on a Mac or Control A on a PC to highlight all of those. And then click the blue Import button. And loading, 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 loading. It's taking a minute to think and do its thing. Now I have a whole bunch more presets in my user presets. And you can see they've got interesting names like Captain America, Catch a Fire, Cold Fact, Garden Grove. And as these changes are not applying yet. I'm just putting my mouse over it and then Lightroom showing in the preview what it would look like if you did apply that preset. So as I mentioned, one of the cool things about presets is it's a quick way to get a totally different look on your photo. So let's do this one. So I'm going to click on that preset. It's a totally different look on my photo. And now what? Here's one of the cool things about presets. They are a great, as I mentioned, time saver, but they are also a great way to learn Lightroom. They're a great way to learn how did they do that. I really like how that looks, but how did they accomplish it? So what I do then is a little bit of digging and see, okay, they did this is what's done in the light panel. There's tone curve, what they did there. Here's the color. Here's the color mixer, what's going on. Wow, they're making lots of changes in the color mixer. And the effects, what's going on there, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's a great way to discover, okay, if you like this kind of look, here's all you got to do. That's the cool thing about Lightroom. There's really no secrets here. All a preset is a collection of each specific setting in the edit panel. So it's a great way to learn Lightroom, but again, it's not a one click and done. For this photo, I kind of like the cool mood. It's actually a little closer to how it was that day, but it's a little bright. So again, I start with that preset and maybe I'll just darken it a little bit. Just a little bit. I'll play with the highlights a little. Maybe I want to introduce a little more purple. So I'm going to increase the saturation there if there's any purple going on in the pinks. Let's see the reds, do that a little bit. So not a huge change, but just nudge it. Once you've got a preset and if it looks like it could work, I always recommend you go through and make the changes to make it fit the specific photo you're working on. So hopefully all this saves you some time in Lightroom. Also will help you learn more about how Lightroom works. How you get certain looks. There's no mysteries here. It's all right there in front of you. So again, I hope that's helpful. If you have suggestions for ways you save time in Lightroom, please leave them in the comments below. If you have suggestions for awesome presets or presets of your own you want to share, I'd be glad to share them as well. So look forward to hearing from you. Look forward to seeing your photos. And I hope you have fun out there creating more images, using software to finish your photos, to tell the stories the way you want to. I will see you again soon in another video.